Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Yes, I know it has been a minute. It has been going on almost 2 months, but we haven't hit the 2 month mark just yet. Life has been lifing, as many people say, and what I mean by that is been just busy, and just trying to get used to my husband and I's like work schedule and just life in general. 2 kids is not, I don't have 6 or so, but still 2 kids. It's a lot of work, but just adjusting to life as it is. And yeah, life has been lifing, but it's been good. I can't complain, it's been good. But I'm actually here at Kroger right now. I am coming here to pick up a few items that I don't have at home. I'm planning on cooking, I don't know what the particular name of this meal is, but it's basically kind of like a pasta dish with seared steak and asparagus. So that's pretty much what we're having for dinner today. I've made steak plenty of times, but I've never made this kind of meal together, so this would be a first for me. But yeah, we're here, and I don't want to take too much time. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be filming in the store or not, because my husband, he's pretty hungry, he's ready to eat. So yeah, I don't want to take up too much time. But can you guys believe it? Today is February 2nd. How are we already in the 2nd month of this year? I mean, where has time gone, y'all? Like, time is just going by so fast, and it's like, you know, you start a month and then you look up again, it's the middle of the month already. It's the 15th of the month already. It's like time just moves like this, and you have to take time to seize the moment, because life just moves so quickly that you can get caught up and wrapped up in, as they say, the cares of this world, the cares of this life, and just, you know, you get into a routine. And I don't even think it has much to do with just having kids all together, but I think most people, if you have a routine in life, you're going to be doing that routine daily. It's going to become a habit, something you do often. And, you know, my husband and I, we're in such a tight routine throughout the week, and sometimes on the weekend that, you know, the weeks fly by. Sometimes weeks feel like 2 weeks feel like 1 week, because you're doing the same thing, and life is just like moving like the speed of light. Like, no one can tell me time hasn't sped up. I think time has definitely sped up, but that's just to say, you know, make sure that you take time to recollect yourself. Like, that's what I did this weekend. I took time to recollect my mind, my thoughts, and that doesn't always mean that you have hard things going on. You're just taking time to woosah and kind of get away from the norm of your lifestyle. You just like, you know, yesterday I went out and got my nails done, and which these, you guys, are my real nails. I got them done, and it was just relaxing. I enjoyed it. You know, it was kid free. Didn't have to worry about taking kids in and out the car, which the kids aren't a hassle, but it's still work. And, you know, I was just able to relax and woosah and do my own thing. So I just say, you know, for the moms out there, and even fathers, man, woman, doesn't matter. You know, you just take time for yourself and enjoy life and seize the moment, and try not to live too much of a busy life, because life itself is going to go by quickly. So yeah. But yeah, guys, I didn't get on here to say all that. But like I just mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and get inside of Kroger. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to film today or not, because like I said, I need to kind of get in here and really get what I need to get and get back home so I can start cooking. But yeah, so yeah, let's get going, y'all. So today I decided to I try to make it sound a little bit fancy, so I call it a steak infused pasta dish. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit of how I make it. I've never made this meal before. It is the first, and I did find the recipe online, but I did have to modify it just a little bit. So I started off by adding some salt to a pot of water that I'm going to bring to a boil here. And I also decided to take out my steak meat so it can become at room temperature, so that way it's more juicier. It doesn't dry out when I cook it. Here, I'm cutting on the air fryer. I decided to make the asparagus inside of the air fryer due to not wanting to really deal with too many pans. And then also, I love this air fryer. It's amazing. I mean, it cooks things very well. It's quick, it's easy, so why not, right? So as you guys can see here, I pulled out my handy dandy cast iron skillet. I love this skillet. It's one of the best skillets to cook in, especially when you're trying to sear meats. So I decided to add a little bit, well, maybe a good bit of olive oil to the pan. I want to heat up the pan. I don't know what the degrees is, but I got it to where it was almost hot to the point where it's smoking. So that way when you put the meat down there, it sears it. It gives it a nice charcoal look. Here I'm just placing the asparagus inside of the air fryer. I put it on 350 for about 12 minutes. Not sure if I like that. I think next time, I think 350 is fine, but I'll have to put it in there for a little bit less time because it became a little bit too crunchy for my liking, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. We still ate it. Decided to keep the seasonings on the asparagus pretty simple because the dish, the pasta, and the meat itself is going to have a lot of flavor. So I just kept it simple, drizzled some olive oil, and then just sprinkled some salt on top, and that was all. So right here, I am prepping for the meat. I'm going to season it and show you guys exactly what we use. We decided to buy 3 ribeye steaks from Walmart. And before we get to that, as you guys can see, I bought some old-fashioned egg noodle pastas. This pasta here, if you guys can find it, I found it at Kroger. But if you guys can find this one, please get it. It is so fresh. It tastes like somebody just cooked it or made it. So as you guys can see, these are the seasonings that I use for the steak. I kind of sprinkled this one on kind of generously. I wanted to have a nice flavor, and you guys, that kinder or kinder, however you say it, that seasoning is spectacular. My dad actually got that for my husband and I, or gave it to us, but it was spectacular on the steak. Definitely would recommend. So all you want to do is just season the steak with the seasonings that I showed you previously. Flip the steak over and do the same exact thing on the other side. Funny story, you guys. I really was not a steak eater by any means before me and my husband got married or started dating. We started going out to these now we don't do this all the time, but we used to date and go to these 5-star restaurants, and I would see that he ordered the steak. I'm like, let me try that. So I would order a steak, and then from there I've been hooked. We don't have steak every week. It used to kind of be an every week thing, but we don't have it every week. We have it, maybe once or twice out of the month. But when I tell you guys, if you cook it right and let it get to room temperature first, season it, and in this case, we didn't need to sear the steak for too long because it was thin. So I would say when you first put it in the pan, like you see me doing here, just let it cook for about, I don't know, I would say between no more than 3 to 4, at the most 5 minutes. And then after that, if you don't want it to be cooked all the way to the point where it's dry, then you flip it over after the 4 to 5 minutes, cook it for maybe another minute, minute and a half or 2 at the top, at the very most, and take it out and let it rest. And then you cut into it. When I tell you guys, that steak was like butter smooth. Y'all listen to me. Y'all just do it. Just do it. So as you guys can see, I'm about to cut up a half of an onion. I didn't want too much onion. Usually I'll cut the entire thing, but I didn't want too much this time, you know, around inside the sauce. So you see me flipping the last steak, the third steak that we have. And eventually you're gonna see me add the sauce. Don't drain or get rid of the oil that's in the pan from cooking the steak. You're gonna dice up the onion, add it to that pot. And this is what I say makes it like an infused steak infused pasta, because you still have the seasonings and the juices from the steak that's going to be into the sauce. Just keep watching, y'all will see. Y'all see how good that looks? I love some sauteed onions, y'all. One of the best things. So right here, this is also going to be kind of like the base of our sauce. It is just some chicken bouillon that's already been grounded. It is in powder form. I just took about maybe half of a tablespoon, then added half a cup of water and just mixed it. You don't have to be perfect with mixing it because it's not all going to mix together well because the water was not warm. But just mix, and then you'll see me adding it to the pan in just a little bit. Guys, I really don't measure a whole lot, but I just drizzled what the heart desired when it came down to this heavy cream. I would say first start off with like maybe, I would say 3/4 of a cup, and then you just add to your own preference. And then here, I want to make sure that this did not taste like Parmesan Alfredo sauce, so I did add a good heaping of Parmesan cheese to it. But in a little bit, you'll see that I added some red wine, because to me, it started to taste like Alfredo, and that's not what I was going for. So I needed something to cut that saltiness. So I added some something that had like a vinegar base too. When I tell you guys that red wine topped it off, it surely did. Just trust me on that. Oh yeah, and the recipe did not call for butter, but I added just a tablespoon of butter to the sauce as well. Now it's time for my favorite part, adding the pasta. So I drained the pasta, of course, and just added it to the sauce. I wanted to make sure that I didn't add too much pasta at once, because sometimes if you add too much pasta to the sauce and you don't have enough sauce, you'll dry the pasta out very, very quickly. So I added what I thought was good, and I started to mix, and stir it in, get the sauce all in between those noodles. And then after I felt like that was good enough, I did chop up some parsley, some fresh parsley, and added it to the pasta as well. Y'all, we had Ruth Chris right at home. Didn't even have to spend that kind of money. I really enjoyed making this dish, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.